Des Guinéens, nos frères aussi, et ni dégradés. On n'est pas xénophobe, on est trop gentil, négligé, natifé, natifé. Pourquoi ne pas s'aimer, pourquoi ne pas se pardonner? La vie est sacrée, oh, faut la protéger. Un bout de tout à pleurer, pacifique à chanter, à capella à chanter, et dit à pleurer, oh, aïe à noter la paix. Mais voilà, y'a Dieu, c'est Zeki, c'est moi le couleur. Voilà.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's start this here. Good morning. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I'm Alfonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to bring you this live interview, the politics of Cote d'Ivoire. LPR goes inside the politics of La Cote d'Ivoire. So we're waiting for our guest. He will soon join us, I believe. He's here, and let's see as soon we get his image here. We'll get this program going right here. Is little almost 12 midday here and little after 4 o'clock or 4 p.m. in neighboring La Cote d'Ivoire. Having a little issue there to get his image, and I assume I get that. Trust me, we're going to have this conversation going. This is the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome you. Thank you so much for coming here. Just bear with all a little bit, but let's give you a sense of what is unfolding in Cote d'Ivoire. Just a little bit ahead, 21 days to go to the presidential elections in Ivory Coast. And I'm going to be having one of the top politicians. They are out of the race. So what next for them? Mr. Guilllaume is the Vice President for Finance and Economic Policy of Front Popular Ivoirien, FPI. That's the party. Hopefully, I will do good. But recently, our Africa Bureau Chief, Ben Tebe, is based in Abidjan, was embedded with the protester as the day grows nearer to the presidential elections. Let's watch this and see.
Le plus ancien habitant de la France d'Ivoire. Quand Alassane vivait la tête de mes ancêtres, on est fatigué. C'est pas son terrain, c'est pas l'héritage de son père, c'est la tête de mes ancêtres. Quand Alassane vivait la tête de mes ancêtres, on est fatigué.
Je suis venu même faire d'Alassane. Depuis Alassane est venu au pouvoir, je n'ai jamais eu la santé jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Mais aujourd'hui, Papa Laurent va prendre pouvoir. Je suis guéri. Alassane, fais dans son fils. Moi, je dois la séparer.
On veut plus du quatrième mandat.
Alors, on n'a pas de rien. Même pas Sadine. Quittez là-bas. On va installer Bagbo, Laurent. Et aujourd'hui, cette marche passe à une mobilisation. Nous sommes venus démontrer une manifestation de force, une démonstration de force.
Let me bring this. Our guest is here from neighboring Abidjan, La Cote d'Ivoire. LPR goes deep into the politics of La Côte d'Ivoire, and our guest is here. I'm going to be bringing him shortly. I saw he position himself. This is a special edition of the Examiner, going deep inside La Côte d'Ivoire. Let me just bring in my guest. Is here. There we go. Our guest is here. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Côte d'Ivoire is a next neighbor to me, so it's also important that we have this conversation. Let me go inside Abidjan. Good evening. This evening, Mr. Lubert, and good to have you here on the Liberia Public Radio. Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How you doing in Abidjan? I miss Abidjan, my cerebrum, and all of that. I miss it. I miss Abidjan.
Oh, yes. Sorry for that, but we are fine. We are trying.
Okay, good. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for honoring our invitation to come here this evening, and just to make sure that the politics in Abidjan, we are closely monitoring. The war is monitoring. Peace to your neighbor is peace to the other neighbor, and so we do have interest in making sure what is happening. But I will give you a few minutes to introduce yourself, and we'll get right down to the issue.
All right, thank you. Well, my name is Guillaume LIBY. I am the Vice President of the FPI in charge of Finance and Economic Policy. As you know, FPI is the Front Populaire Ivoirien, a political party which was created in 1990. And our philosophy is to promote social justice within the framework of liberal democracy and a capitalistic-oriented economy. So basically, that's what I am, and that's what we are.
Okay, so good to know that. Again, thank you so much. And we say our credit goes to our Abidjan Bureau Chief, Benjamin Tibet, and the people of Ivory Coast for giving that accreditation to also share the story and narrative of the politics in neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire. I was showing just something, but I like to communicate visually to see. Our guy, recently there was a mass protest. I'm not sure what are your party or who all were involved, but I just want you to give a sense of what happens a couple of weeks ago in Abidjan, and then we're going to have a conversation.
All right.
Les Ivoiriens ont tant subi de bâtir. Et aujourd'hui, nous ne faisons plus ça, nous assassinons. C'est pour cela qu'aujourd'hui, nous devons démontrer la face du monde entier que nous sommes fatigués. Et que trop, c'est trop.
Okay. This is not strange. You're in Côte d'Ivoire. I believe you saw it, you witnessed it, and perhaps you participated. Those are citizens expressing their views, their opinions about their country, correct?
Yes, they are expressing their view, their frustration over the political process that we are witnesses as of now. So basically, yes, this is, I think these are militants of the Front Commun, which is an organization recently created by PPACI, led by President Laurent Gbagbo, and PDCI, led by Tidjane Thiam.
Okay, so if my calendar to serve means to get less than 23 days to what I term as consequential presidential elections in La Côte d'Ivoire. From your end as an opposition, how can you categorize in terms of what is happening right now?
Well, you see, maybe we need some context, you know, for the benefit of your audience, because over the last 30 years there have been no peaceful transition in Côte d'Ivoire. You know, after the return of the multi-party system in 1990, you know, we have been riding on a bumpy road. In 1993, President Konan Bédié took over from Félix Houphouët-Boigny when he died. And unfortunately, in 1999, General Gueye staged a coup to oust President Bidier. And in 2000, President Laurent Gbagbo was obliged to call for an popular uprising to oust General Gueye, who didn't want to relinquish the power after losing the election. And the decade-long presidency of Laurent Gbagbo was mirrored and upset by the rebellion. Finally, it culminated in his departure in 2011 after a short but yet bloody civil war. And since 2011, President Ouattara has been in power. So this is the context in which we are. There have been no peaceful transition, no election without trouble, without trauma. And now we are, like you mentioned, 23 days away from another election, which has all the stigmas of what we have experienced in the past.
When you say stigma, from what I seem to be hearing from you, then there seems to be apprehensions about the pending process that we expected the war will be watching for the 25th. Is that what you are talking about, sir?
Well, everybody is worrying. Everybody is worrying, the local community, the national community, as well as the international community. Not too long that 2 weeks ago, we have a mission from the United Nations that came here and met all the political leaders. And we have also a very important NGO, I think the American Republican Institute, that came also and met all the leaders. And they produced a report which stated that if the elections are organized in this circumstance, they may lead to violence and mayhem as it was before. And the country doesn't need all those things at this time.
So, our understanding, it were more than 60 or less political parties, and it's been narrowed down to what, 5 or 6? What's the actual numbers that are going to be participating in the process?
Yeah, the number today is 5.
5. How we got to that point? Is it by not meeting the electoral process, or how out of that number to come to 5? I'm not sure whether your party, our understanding, your party is not participating, is being banned too, according to the council in charge of the electoral process. What went wrong?
Well, you see, there was 2 issues. You have the pre-electoral issues, and now we are getting into the election issues. Now, on the pre-electoral issues, you have two main points. The first one is that more than 60% of the person listed on the electoral roll has various issues. Some doesn't have any name, some doesn't have parents, some are even born earlier than their parents, some have more than 100 children. So all these legal issues, the opposition brought those issues to the attention of the electoral body, but to no ear, but to deaf ears. The second issue is the revision of the electoral roll. As you know, every year, this electoral roll has to be revised to introduce the new age voters and exclude the deaf. Now, the electoral body say we will review it after the election. Now, this is what you call calling the shot after the game, counting the number of the football match player after the game is over. What was the purpose for that? So that's the first issue. And then now we are on the election process, the selection of the candidate. To stand as a candidate, there is one key feature that you need to, one key condition that you need to fulfill. And that one is you must collect 1% of the voter in the 17 region of the country. Okay, and the candidate of the FPI, President Afi N'Guessan, actually collected his sponsorship from not 17 but 20 regions, and the total number of what he collected was 44,382 sponsors that he collected, and he gave this this collection to the electoral body when he applied for candidacy. Now, from what we heard, and to the dismay of Ivoirien as a whole, we heard that he is not qualified to stand as a candidate because he has more than 29 sponsorships that were floated out of a list of 46,546 names. While his candidacy, his application went for 44,000, he was attributed 46,000. So clearly, this is not his application form. So we believe that any proceeding that is not related to the application that he has put forward should not be held against him. All right? This is simple. This is simple, but this is the current situation in which we are today. So it seems that somebody trying to mislead the Constitutional Court. So to make sure that we don't accept this, the president himself filed a complaint with the office of the General Attorney to initiate some diligence to ensure that we did this and possibly recall his candidacy.
So Afi N'Guessan is a former prime minister, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you say somebody seems to mislead, or somebody might be doing something. Who is that person? Are they in Cote d'Ivoire, or is it some sort of extender force? What is your suspicion?
No, we don't know, because that's why the complaint that the president filed was for against X, because like I just mentioned, the process is simple. You put your application to the electoral body with the number of the sponsorship that I gave to you, 44,000, right? And so the examination of your candidacy should go, or should entail those 44,000 you put. It should not entail any other number than the 44,000 that you put. And from what we heard, there was 46,000, and 46,000 is not the number that we gave to the electoral body. So we don't know who did it, but we know the process. The process is you put your application into some electoral body, and that body has to put the documentation forward to the Constitutional Court. So between those two, we don't know what happened. That's why the president think that, and the country, the party also think that they need to clarify all those issues.
Do you think this issue will be clarified, Mr. Lobi?
Well, you see, we started this discussion about the environment of the electoral. We started we need to sanitize everything that go into the election. Everybody needs to be heard. This candidate, Pascal Afi N'Guessan, is particularly articulate. He worked on his program. The Ivoirian need to know what is in for, what does he want, so that if not elected, then the Ivoirian has not accepted his idea. But you cannot just push him away with some issue we don't know where it comes from. That's what we are talking about. We want to stand. We work to stand. And why should not we stand?
Here we are, less than 23 days, 25th Ivoirian, over 80 million plus Ivoirian, including polling center outside of Africa in the diaspora, will be deciding the fate of the next president of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire. What does that leave you?
Well, it's not even, it's not it's no longer a question of the our party. It's a question of the whole nation. Do we want that? Do we want this atmosphere, this environment? That's what we want. That's the international community want. Is that the national community want? See, this is the problem that the question that we need to answer. And today, as I mentioned, there are some worrying issues. Like I mentioned, the United Nations coming and met with the political leader to ensure that we sanitize the environment. As of today, we have two, actually I should say, 4 political parties that are going to form a coalition. You have already the Front Commun, which was created by President Laurent Gbagbo, former President Laurent Gbagbo, former banker Tidjane Cham, and now the FBI is poised to join that front. Now they are talking about Sorodium joining. So you see, you have those people that have been sidelined for reasons that obviously are not linked to their application. So in this environment, you cannot expect a peaceful election. You cannot expect you cannot expect that the outcome of the expression is the expression of the desire of the population, and that's actually the reason of election. Give the opportunity of people to express their view, to express their need, to say, well, this is the person that we need, this is the policy that we want, this is the policy that we don't want. You see, so if all those things are up in the air, how are we going to organize this election?
You tell me.
We don't know.
We don't know. And just to let you know, and I know you know, on the 2nd of September, the BBC reported over a media gave that a number, the probability of that number being higher. BBC reported on the 2nd of September that over 186 Ivoirians, both men to women, they have crossed to neighboring Ghana. Is that a fear, apprehensions of the electoral process, and what you think the situation, the atmosphere looks like now in Cote d'Ivoire as a whole?
No, I mean, this is what we want to avoid. Country like yourself, Liberia, Ghana, I mean, you've been through things. You have now been able to ensure that the election is just an ordinary day. People go to vote, and the next day they go to work, whether the candidate is elected or not. This is the standard we want. The situation whereby we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if you are going to be alive or dead, if you are going to be in prison or not. If you know, we don't need that about the election. We don't need that about it, and we are experiencing that already. So why do we want to repeat the wrong thing that we did before? So I mean, people are taking their precaution. You know, some may want to get away before things get bad. I mean, you cannot blame for that. You cannot blame them for that. Anything, I can tell you that the economic environment is also frigid at this time. People don't want to move. Everybody you talk to say, let's see after the election. Let's see after the election. Is this the environment that we want? I don't think so.
You don't think so? What are other conditions the opposition community are considering? Maybe it goes to the higher court, the Supreme Court, or whatever higher authority that will intervene. Are those other options being currently on the table?
Well, the option on the table is to convince the current leadership to meet with the other leaders and together draft a pathway to peace. This is what the people want. I just mentioned the case of President Afingesan, who was excluded for those flimsy reasons. Now you have Mr. Chiam, the president of PDC, who is also ousted, discarded, because the constitutionally mandate renewal of the electoral roll was not done. You see the consequence of that? Why don't we do the renewal? If we do the renewal, he will be on the list and he will be candidate. And you cannot convince anybody that the president, former President Laurent Gbagbo could not get the one-person sponsorship all over the country. So, you know, when you see all those things, you see that's trouble. That's why we believe that the current leadership, president, and I'm not saying this, everybody is saying that the religious leaders, both Muslims and Catholics, Christians, they met together and they produced a communique telling the president that he is the father of the nation. It's up to him to ease the tension and meet his buddy, his friend, his countrymen to ensure that we calm down the climate of this election. So this is the pathway forward. There is no other, and there's some disposition in the constitution which actually allow the president to make such a move. Such a move was made by President Laurent Gbagbo when the situation was applying to the current president. So you see, where the good faith, there is a solution.
Absolutely. Do you think from what you're saying now, clergymen, other stakeholders are doing everything possible for a good atmosphere, political atmosphere in La Côte d'Ivoire? Do you think those proposals will be adhered to?
Well, it's that's what we hope. We hope that, because there is no other way. I mean, how do you govern the country if you win an election this way? People will just stay where they are. They don't participate. The rift within the population, we still there. We're getting bigger and bigger. No trust, no reconciliation, and the country will go backward. We need that.
Is there a political ploy to silence the opposition, you believe?
Is a political?
Do you see it as a ploy to push away the opposition?
Well, if you discard all the political leaders from the process, how do you call that?
Is that yes to my question?
Well, today we have facts. Neither former President Gbagbo is allowed to stand, nor Mr. Afingesan, even more Tijan Cham. And those people represent strong political parties.
Right.
So if they cannot stand, what are we talking about?
What the civil society is saying, they do also have a share in this as a stakeholders to make sure peaceful elections and transfer of powers are here. What is civil society? What is their share into this here, Mr. Ruby?
No, I think like I just mentioned, they are also involved. I mean, the strongest civil society group that we can think of are the religious group, the Muslims and the Christian. They met together. They wrote a communique together. It's not a separate communique. Both groups wrote a communique calling for a peaceful election, inclusive election. There is no more that I can say.
And I hope certainly not, but for discussion purposes, what could be the second options of the oppositions, despite of the religious community, the Christians, the Muslims, and people of all backgrounds that believe in the core values of democracy? If if the accord doesn't answer, what could possibly happen? Will the opposition still participate in the electoral process?
Well, there are two issues, two ways to handle this. The first one is to probably support a candidate from the five that were selected, and the second one is to make sure that you are redeemed into your rights. So the first option was not retained. The opposition leader felt that that's not sustainable because those who were excluded were discarded on under flimsy reason. So why should somebody who has been discarded on flimsy reason should throw away his rights? So that's why we are. So the actually today there was supposed to be a big march, which has been postponed to next week. So along with the pressure that the United Nations, the national community is putting to bear, those political parties are organizing themselves to take the streets and to make them their message heard.
Now, I try to wrap this around my head with all of these sort of cloudy situation here. Are people effectively canvassing, campaigning across the length and breadth of Cote d'Ivoire, considering this sort of toxic political ground in my own world? I did opposition to the fee free going outside of Abidjan, the Daloa, the Bouaké, the Yamoussoukro, Korokot, San Petros, and it goes on to campaign in order for their lead, their political parties' messages, platform to be executed?
No, as you can see, as you can infer from what we just we are talking about, there is no campaign atmosphere. Nobody's moving around, meeting people. You see some discussion on TV, but that's all. And these are ordinary TV show, but you don't have any feeling of upcoming election. You know, everybody is out, have some good feeling. Yeah, willing to convince people, discuss what you are planning to do, all those kind of things, right? That is associated with the election. None of those is happening. None of those is happening. So because people are just afraid, they just what is going to happen to themselves. You know, they are looking inward. People are looking inward. What is going to happen to me with this atmosphere? People are not listening to anybody. Oh, well, if I'm elected, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No. The country is standstill. It's grounded. And that's not good. Yeah.
Grounded, it reminds me of when the plane is grounded, it means it's not moving. Something is stopped. So it's like everything has come momentary standstill.
Exactly. It's the standstill.
I heard you talking about some gathering, but it's been postponed. What was the purpose of that gathering? To demand?
To demand the reintegration of those excluded, those discarded, those candidates that we just mentioned. the march is supposed to tell the message that we need these people to stand, so that the people have the free choice, either to elect them or to reject them. But you cannot just, by the stroke of a pen, saying that somebody cannot stand.
Your colonial master, I'm not sure their length of authority, but they are noted of usually making intervention because of the ties with your country. Are there been any conversations? Are they part of this process? Are they also speaking out, whether for or against the French?
No, nobody actually is speaking out on this, especially the French. They are unusually very quiet. Usually they are very vocal. We remember when President Sarkozy was in power, every day he was giving order to former President Laurent Gbagbo to do this and not do that. But this time they are all quiet. Probably the internal situation in France is a bit edgy, but with respect to Côte d'Ivoire, everything is calm. Now, what does this mean? Does it mean that they don't support what is going on, or do they support what is going on? We don't know. But the fact is that it's quiet. They don't express any view about it.
That should sound disappointing, because then you do not know their positions. Silence means concern, but the level of concern is yet to be understood. Whether they are in favor, they are not in favor, that is understood. Let's digress yet a little bit here, and I'm trying to make an educated guess to see where all this coming from here. And I can hear that, not to put you in the spot, but we did hear that there was some sort of alterations into the presidential terms. There was some altering to whether it is constitutional in terms of the limit of the presidential power. Was there any alterations, and if that was done, was it in the provisions of the Constitution? President seeking second, third, fourth term. What the constitutions of Cote d'Ivoire says to that?
Okay, the constitution, we have actually two over the last 20 years. We had two constitutions. We have the 2000 constitution, which called for two-term presidency of 5 years. So everybody that has been elected as president has two terms consecutively, no more than that. Even the constitution that was revised in 2016 also called for two-term presidency. So anybody that has been president for two terms should not be standing consecutively. Maybe he can come back at some other time. Yeah. But consecutively, he cannot go more than two terms. That's what the constitution says. But this is also one of the problems that we have in the country. Everybody has a one-side interpretation of this, and that's the problem, because everybody wants to interpret it as the way it suits them, while it should be interpreted without a bias, and that's why we are today.
So it appears to me that could possibly be the origin of where we are today, having this sort of conversation.
Yes, because I mean, it's clear. The 2000 Constitution and the 2016 Constitution says that nobody should do more than two terms. It's clear, but people, a lot of people have one-sided interpretation. If you want to continue, you say okay, and 2016. The constitution was made everything anew, so it's a new republic, and the new republic If you do one, it's just the first time you do it. So, but I mean, that's not serious interpretation. These are the things that bring all this this atmosphere in the country. Consecutively, you cannot do more than 2. You may later on, after somebody has done his part, you may come back, just like the President Gbagbo is trying, because he has been he done 10 years in power. Although there was no election because of the rebellion that when he was in power, but he has 10 years of power. So somebody could say, okay, you are 10 years, that's 2 terms. Okay, possible. It's a possible interpretation, but you cannot stand consecutively. Now he has been in jail. He came back, so there have been a lapse of time. So maybe he can stand. That's one issue. So the problem that we have here is that people don't respect the Constitution. It's like a piece of paper for a lot of people. And if we cannot respect the Constitution, we always be in trouble. I think people like Liberia, a country like Liberia, Ghana, I think they are moving ahead from this. Still, Cote d'Ivoire is having this problem.
Wow. What are the citizens outside of Cote d'Ivoire? Do they have share into this? Are they speaking out, and what are they saying? I'm talking about the diasporans, Ivoirians outside of the country itself. Do they also have fish to fry in this, and what are they saying?
Well, the diaspora is like the country, divided along maybe political line, maybe religious line, maybe tribe line, you know, whatever whatever classification you may find. Some are cheering for this, some are jeering for this, and this is where we are. And that's why the country is at a crossroad. We need to move ahead of this. We need to ensure that we can get a step ahead of this, so that the country can get together and trace its path to greatness. Unless we can do that, we will be mirroring this every 5 years, every 5 years, and by the time everybody has gone ahead.
So now there's sort of conversation here with respect to the second, either the first or second options. If there's no changes, there's no accommodation, those that were rejected to participate, my understanding, all of the political party will form a coalition. Forming that coalition, does that mean if elections are here, whatever result comes out, would they abide by those results?
Well, yeah, there's a coalition that is going to be formed. That, you know, already you have the basis of this coalition with President Gbagbo and Banker Chiam together. I think the other will probably join. Now, are they going to be abided by the result of the election if they don't stand? I don't know. But what I can say is that the country is divided at this point. The people themselves, they are divided at this point. So if the election are held in this circumstance, those who win will be happy, and those who were not participating will be on the sideline and may not feel embedded in the country affair. And as I mentioned before, that's not the way forward. You see what happened, the good thing about the unity that, you know, when we organized the football competition, the CAN in Cote d'Ivoire, the African nation, the African Cup nation that we won here, right? Everybody was supporting the elephant. Everybody. Whether you are Babo, Bédier, Ouattara, whatever, Muslim, everybody. And that feeling, that strong feeling, transcends these young men, and they were able to lift the trophy. This is what we want. We want unity. We want everybody concerned. We want everybody cheering for the country. We don't want some cheering and some jeering. When you do that, you open yourself for whatever might happen.
We are running out of time. We are doing everything to reach all players participating, and some of them have been responding, and we're very, very much happy to you from your party side. And so to make a fair, balance, proportionate, and get their side. We also try to reach out to the government. So what is the government position? Every government wants to have a peaceful society, peaceful environment. In order to govern, you must have a peaceful land, and we hope that they will also answer our call. Now, there are Ivoirians listening to you now, people that are in and out. The conversation, like you said, I mean, it's the same way in my country, other countries. You will always have this divided politics, especially when it comes to Liberians. What should they be? What is the hope for them, if you would, if I can ask that question? It's
What
still
is it?
the hope. Do you still have time that the tides can change around, that the game can change around, or time is just running out? Time is already out. Are there hopes that still this thing can be turned around, to reconsider the decision, to revisit those conditions, and allow everyone to participate? Do you think there's still a hope?
Yes, I think there's still hope. There's still hope. There's still hope because, I mean, the current president has done a good job in some parts, you know, so he deserves to come and defend his program. What he did is right. He need to come to tell the people, well, this is what I did, and explain the success and the shortcoming. Now, the other guys in the opposition, they should be able to come and say, well, this is what we plan to do. The shortcoming of the current government, we plan to do more. And this is how we're going to do it. So in Côte d'Ivoire, we have what we call dialogue. And we believe that dialogue will prevail. You know, we were raised into this this atmosphere. Fred Boigny used to call, you know, National Assembly, national meeting to let everybody speak. And by the end of the ceremonial, you know, we have some middle ground.
Right.
And we had the same issue also when this problem also were on the other side when the President Gbagbo was president. And the current president was not supposed to be to stand. And the President Gbagbo used one of the articles of the Constitution called Article 48, which give him additional power. So he used this article to ensure that the candidate was permitted to stand, and that article still exists in the Constitution. So since the climate is so heavy, so charged, I think it's up to the current president or current leadership to use all the lever of the Constitution to ensure that everybody is called upon to do his part. Everybody is free to stand and defend his program or make his proposal. So we are a country where we want to we like ourselves to be to cherish a dialogue, and the political party has been, I think, even as we're talking, I'm sure that they are speaking with themselves. They are reaching out. The religious leaders are reaching out. So by the end of maybe this week. We hope that we'll get good news so that everything cool down and we all happy, jump the streets, go to the villages, to the other city, and create a campaign atmosphere in the country. That's what we want. And I hope it's going to happen.
Yeah, it could mean to me, hey, what Mr. Lube is saying now, look, like a reminder to the current administration, a couple of years back, the president made this sort of, former president, then Laurent Gbagbo made this commendation. You can also do it for the good of the country. In essence, that's your direct message to the government or the president, correct?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Are you politically worried with what is going on? Are there still apprehensions considering all that is going on? 20 some more days, even this when the goalposts move now, what are you going to have an adequate time to carry on the kind of aggressive campaign, talking to voters, explaining the party's agenda, making sure people goes to the polls to vote? I do believe these apprehensions are still there.
No, well, you see, if I understand correctly what you're saying, the issue is the election, fair and free election. So if there is a need to postpone for some days, some weeks, maybe a month, the process, should it be? But we need a fair, free, peaceful election so that the result is people abide by the results. Because if people don't abide by the result, of course you will govern because you have the military, you have the police, and so forth. But that's not enough to build a strong country.
So, considering all of this, House of Grant, I will soon let you go. We know you are a busy person, so right in the next few minutes, we're going to be wrapping. Oh, yeah. So the probability is also there for a possible extension of the electoral process, considering all that is going. Everybody perhaps not having the chance to campaign, to visit every town, villages, or those battlegrounds in order to get their party agenda. That could be a possible option the opposition considering?
Yeah, that should be the solution, because just like you mentioned, we are 23 days away from this election, and it seems chaotic. It seems chaotic. Now, are you going to do a very efficient campaign with in those days while still people are discussing, talking? No. So, and I believe that you have to find what is the most important things out of everything. Is it more important to hold the election now with this situation, or to give yourself some time, maybe 1 month, 2 months, and get a fair, free, peaceful election where everybody is involved? And from there on, everybody is speaking from one voice. When Ivoirien is talking, yes, this is my president, even I did not vote for him. But the worst thing is that, yes, this is the president of my country, but I did not vote for him, or he is not my president. He may not say so publicly, but in his heart, in all his feeling, he feels so. That's not the way to create a very good atmosphere in the country. So, and I think we don't need that. So I think that as Ivoirian, very fond of dialogue, we'll find a solution. A solution to overcome this. We are strong people. We are very loving people. We love good life. We love good life. We love our country. We love each other, and we need to bond together to build this country, whether you are in the government or in the opposition.
Right. And trust me, you know, when we came on, the very first thing that I said, I miss my Danane, I miss my Abidjan, York City, I miss my Suribra, I miss my everything. So, you know, even though we say we are up here, but and we are grateful for us to be accredited by the government, the Ministry of Information, and all of the relevant agencies to have our guy going to press conferences, nobody, or even able to have access to you and even to the higher up. And that's one of the things I really want to give credit, because as you get this number, you call, I just send a message, we chat, we start talking, and right there you say you will offer it. Other parties are responding. You're also hearing from the government side. Hopefully, we're going to have them to give everybody the fair share, and that people should not to be judgmental to get their side of the story in terms of what happened. That's what civil conversation is all about, and that's what the media should help to do, to help to kind of give the required information. Now, time has caught up with us here. People that are listening to us, you say a lot here, but they want to get the most take, your closing statement, your final statement that will put people to say, okay, there is a day at the end of the tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel here. What do you have to say to especially Ivoirians? We have a lot of friends here monitoring, and definitely I know some of them are going to be getting back with us here that are listening to you in Abidjan. They are out. What is the bigger picture here you want us, not just only Ivoirians, all of us in the southwest regions, to understand with what respect is happening in Cote d'Ivoire now?
Well, first of all, thank you for giving us this opportunity to discuss and raise our view. You know, Cote d'Ivoire is a country that is at the crossroad of the West African region. This is a country where resources are shipped from to other countries. You are Liberian, you are Guinean, you are Malian, you are Burkinabe, you make some money here in Cote d'Ivoire, and you finance some operation in your country. So Cote d'Ivoire is a country that everyone cherish or should cherish, and that's why I believe that everyone is involved in, because this is a crossroad of West Africa, and people should, from where they are, pray that we get together to organize a free and fair election. People should voice their concern, ensure that they speak to whoever they can speak to make sure that we have a free and fair election. This is what we want. Free and fair election for the benefit of the Ivoirian, of course, but for the benefit of the whole region. And so I want to say all to my countrymen, or to the West African, you know, pray for us, pray for the country, so that we come to term and get together to make sure that we don't miss this opportunity. Countries are moving ahead from away from all this charivari about election. In Senegal, they are able to organize an election free and fair. In Liberia, I hope it's the case. And in Ghana, they organize election today. Tomorrow, everybody wants to go to work. They don't have to worry about the aftermath of the election.
Right.
So
right.
This is what we are aiming to. So all, let's pray and make sure that we get to this. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Lubit of FPE. We want to thank you so much for your time. Don't hesitate if there's any new development you wish to share with us. You have my number, our contact of our guy in Abidjan. We are open. All we want to do, we want to have a peaceful society. And this is why we prefer having a dialogue, a conversation to get everyone side of the story. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's LPR going inside the politics of La Cote d'Ivoire. Now, the guy who make this all work out is LPR, Africa Abidjan Bureau Chief. Ben Teme is on the line from La Cote d'Ivoire. Ben, you wanna lower your monitor there, please?
Yes.
Okay. Ben is now joining me in this evening hour, little believe after 4 or 5 in Abidjan. Good evening, welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Mr. So, for that great interview with Mr. Libby. I think it was great.
Okay, so set the stage for us, and thank you again for all what you do. I mean, and I think I said that, and I will say it here. The Ivoirians, their response as you send their number even to the office of the president and all of these tap opposition without people going through this sort of bureaucratic system. Unlike our country, you got to call 555 people, you send message, nobody respond. This is a complete different thing, and I really want to give it to them. It was just a text message, send it, and they were very spontaneous here. But tell us here a little bit. You in Cote d'Ivoire. You also know the politics of Cote d'Ivoire, going to press conferences and all of that here. You listen to Mr. David. What is the atmosphere in Cote d'Ivoire?
Well, the atmosphere politically is bit tense because yesterday we have a discussion with one of the political party heads. He's also a presidential candidate, and he's an Ivorian businessman. So it went well, but it was just offline discussion that we have. And soon and very soon, the political campaign is going to start. But as I listen to Mr. Levy critically, is it going really, the political campaign, is it going to start? Or what opposition, what are they really going to do? But all in all, we will have to wait patiently and see how things are going to be like. Yes.
And yeah, and you're quite correct. There were major two things he outlined, and I really grabbed in terms of the opposition contingency plan. Option one, option two, whether to form a coalition. And then I asked the question, okay, let's assume this is what you're going to do at the end of the day, no matter the outcome of the election. Will you honor that? And that was a dicey question here. Do you think they will be able to come to that consensus, knowing the politics of La Cote d'Ivoire and seeing what is happening there? Do you think the oppositions will be able to come together to solidify their political grip and go into this process here? And even if they say they come together, what it is probable to the campaigning aspect we're talking about, whether people will be able to go to every length and breadth to be able to campaign effectively. That's another portion of it.
Yes, there's a possibility of coalition, but my major concern is really timing. Does Ivoirian really have time? Because you are talking about the 25th of October. You have just a few weeks from now. So is that really feasible that those people, several political parties, because we are talking about 55 political parties that were disqualified. The number is huge. So what really is what is going to be the possibility of getting those people together? People with diverse view politically. And if you look at the timing for me, it's quite short. There could be a way out for how. That's my concern.
That's a concern. And the number of votes outstanding here, according to the Independent Elections Commission, is see at you have over 80 million, 700 and some more vote out. The first one population has been certified. Out of that, 4,528 plus men and 4,232 women. Out of that, 7,015 plus absentee ballots or Ivoirien outside of Ivory Coast to be voting. That is huge.
Yeah, very huge, very huge, very, very, very huge. So we don't know how really is it going to be like when you talk about this. Ivoirien election comes 25th of October. But we are critically watching to see as media practitioners and see what really going to happen at the end of the day. And as we were discussing yesterday, my major concern, or one of the questions that I asked the political contender, and he was like upset because I asked him those 5 candidates that are in the race. Now, in the race rather, when you speak to them, each person will say, I'm going to win just one round. It's one round victory. Everyone is saying the same thing. So then I asked, Mr. Bion, let me ask you, if you were to be defeated, on the contrary, are you going to accept the results of the election? And then he looked at me and said, but how can you tell me that I'm going to be defeated? So they said, but we have 5 political candidates. You are in the race. You have 4 persons that already said, look, I'm going to win first round. And you are saying the same thing. So on the contrary, what will you do? Are you going to accept the result or not? And then he asked me, which country are you from? So I told him, I'm from Liberia. In fact, anyway, you people are democratic, principle-minded people. But anyway, I'm sure that I'm going to win the election. So this is how we ended it yesterday. However, we are trying our best, especially by the grace of God, to get each side, those as looking at those 5 political parties that are in the race, to get someone to speak to LPR, let them speak their mind. What do they think? Election, we are talking about a few weeks from now. What do they think? How is it going to be like? Do we expect electoral violence as what happened during 2010 and 11? What is the way forward for Cote d'Ivoire? So these are some of my concerns.
Absolutely. And I can't say more than what I've said. Thank you so much. Cutting through the corridors, meeting those people, and getting their numbers, we're reaching out to them in terms very spontaneous and even honor. I mean, it was just boom. It was just I just couldn't believe it. And some of them still responding to our message and willingness to come over. I think that's what it's all about, and it's because of your hard work. And we are trying to do everything possible by the grace of God. If that process to go on and the environment is safe, we will hopefully get some real-time images from Cote d'Ivoire comes on the 25th of the election, because peace and Mr. Lubit really got it right. Ivory Coast is like a hub center. It's a major transit point.
Oh, yes.
You're coming from Ivory, coming from Liberia, going through Ivory Coast to Ghana. People coming from Ghana, going through from there, going to the other side, Guinea, and all of that. So obviously, we really want a peaceful electoral process in Cote d'Ivoire. What is coming out for the coming week here? What's coming up there? Do you know? From the opposition to GUL?
Normally, I think from the 13 or 14 official campaigns should start. People have to start campaigning, but it has not really been confirmed. So beginning tomorrow, because there will be a lot of press conferences. There will be, other interviews. There will be exclusive interviews and the rest of other things that will be ongoing. But beginning tomorrow, the landscape politically will be turned as I'm speaking to you right now, because there will be a lot that will have to go on, not only in Abidjan, but throughout the country. Yes. And one of the major things today, one of the breaking news could be Charles Blakely, the godson of former President Laurent Gbagbo, is currently in Yamoussoukro, and he's going to openly speak his mind in terms of which candidate he will be supporting in this race.
Charles Good, what his name? Blakely.
Yeah, Blakely. Yes.
So you're going to be making a declaration which candidate he's going to support?
Yeah, sure. Today. They are currently in Yamoussoukro.
And Yamoussoukro is a very historic area in terms of smoking peace boy. But Blay is like the son of former President Laurent Gbagbo, correct?
Yeah, sure. But
what happened?
Well, whenever media practitioners asked Blakely, he said, or he's always saying that he does not really want to go deep about what may have happened. So we just leave it as it is. But he decided to get on his own. And he has a group called COJEP. Before then, they were just, it wasn't a political group. It was like a youth organization, which he held for so many years. He led for so many years. And thereafter, when he was set free from The Hague, he came back and declared or transformed the group to a political party. So he's now the current head of that particular political party, COJEP. But his candidacy was also rejected by the Constitutional Council.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's play a guess game. Tita told you take the one you win, you take the one you lost. You there. where he think that dice will go out of the 5 political party? Is he going to go to Draman Ouattara, who is dead? You better know you're injured than the injured that you have not seen, or he from the opposition bloc, or will there be some sort of bizarre announcement? What is the speculation with respect to his decision?
For my own little understanding, I think probably he may have to declare his support for the former First Lady of Côte d'Ivoire. But we are watching closer to see what really this declaration will entail.
Before I let go, I know it's late in Côte d'Ivoire here. Former First Lady Simon Gbagbo. Does she have does she have the political will? What are people saying? The voters, electorate. Will there be some sort of transgressional vote from maybe the ex-husband's supporters, and the possibility of them crossing over since their party is being banned? Do you think that's going to happen? Possibility?
No. There haven't really been a good reception since she was declared as one of the candidates. Because when you speak to Ivoirien, they are not willing. Some may say we will, but not in majority. Some prefer the Ivoirian businessman who is Jean-Louis Bion. Yes, probably that could be one of the choices.
Yeah, after we got that number, we reach out to the office, and the secretary working out that modality, either to have the spokesperson or if possible the candidate himself, and see what say. Okay, man, Ben, I know aujourd'hui c'est samedi, non?
Oui, aujourd'hui samedi. Il faut que je sorte.
Okay, so we're gonna let you go. It's in the evening so that you can do what you're supposed to do Samedi soir in Côte d'Ivoire now this evening. But I want to thank you so much for all what you do, and keep doing what we do. Thank you so much. Get those numbers out to us, and trust me, we'll do that. And I think it pays out, starting with Mr. Lube and the other folks that are responding. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant day.
You're welcome, Mr. So, and keep in touch.
All right.
Yes.
There you have it, folks. Our Africa Bureau, Abidjan Bureau Chief Bent, through his initiative, making it possible to get these connections and getting voices live from La Côte d'Ivoire, and that's what we intend to do. We'll be wrapping up here very shortly. Let's take this break, and we'll be right back.
Hey you, it's time to pack your bags. The world is calling. From the skies above to every corner of the map, explore all 7 continents with journeys designed especially for Europe and Africa. Whether it's a cruise, an all-inclusive resort, a hotel, car rental, theme park getaway, or the perfect excursion, Ayana's Dream Escapes brings the world within reach. Adventures start here. Don't just dream, escape. Book now, visit our site, scan the QR code, or just call today.
That is Ayana's Dreams Escaped right there. You saw the number. You want to get reservations, going to Liberia, flying whatever you want to fly for that little special treat. Just tell Mrs. Clark is LPR gives you that info. We want to thank you so much for this beautiful Saturday afternoon here by joining us here. By God's willing, we're going to be back here tomorrow with the regular Sundays editions of The Examiner. Comes away at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to thank you so much for your time this evening. Again, like you heard, if you have an event to provide coverage, whether here in the USA, in Liberia, just let us know. Or you have a business you want to advertise, of course, we can also do that. LPR hotline number is 781-363-5939. Again, 781-363-5939. And this number is also available via WhatsApp. Just message her. Give us a feedback of our programs, our way of doing things here. If there's where we need anything that we need to improve on, just let us know. Yes, you have the right to criticize, but also make recommendations as to enhance quality, proportional, and fair broadcasting, good talking point. We are open to that. Thank you so much, James, Florence, Amos, our own man, Nightcrawler, the station manager right there in Philly, joining us here this afternoon, and all of the rest of the folks. Until then, I am your host and presenter, Alfonso Zienso, from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio, bidding you bon voyage. We say it, our prayers and thought goes out to the people of La Côte d'Ivoire for the peaceful presidential general elections on the 25th of October 2025, less than 24 days to go. We'll be monitoring what is happening. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
La terre de mes ancêtres. On est fatigué.
Je suis venu même faire dans Alassane. Depuis Alassane est venu au pouvoir, je n'ai jamais eu la santé jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Mais aujourd'hui, Papa Laurent va prendre pouvoir. Je suis guéri. Alassane, fais dans son fils. Moi, je dois la séparer.
On veut plus du 4e mandat. Alors, on n'a pas de rien. Même pas Sadine. Quittez là-bas. On va installer Bagbo, Laurent. Et aujourd'hui, cette marche, cette mobilisation, nous sommes venus démontrer une manifestation de force, une démonstration de force. Pour montrer au président Ouattara que les Ivoiriens sont fatigués de lui. Les Ivoiriens ont souffert. Le sang des Ivoiriens a tant coulé. Les Ivoiriens ont tant subi de fatigue. Et aujourd'hui, nous ne faisons plus ça, nous satisfaisons. C'est pour cela qu'aujourd'hui, nous devons démontrer la face du monde entier que nous sommes fatigués et que trop, c'est trop.
There you have it, courtesy of our national correspondent based in Abidjan. Ben, thank you for that beautiful, beautiful footage. Always, as usual, we keep monitoring what is happening. Our prayers and thought out, and we also wish you well in the process of providing the coverage for the consumptions of the public. Have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.